Hey everyone, it's Nectaria again with Sophistication. And this week I have a different video for you. Instead of sharing a soap that I made, I am sharing a solid bubble bath that I made. Now for this, I actually used two different recipes and methods. One is for the main kind of bubble bar, and then the other was for the decorations. So today's video is really focused on the main one, and then I just, near the end of the video, kind of just quickly show you how I finished decorating it so that you can see the final product. Now this process is bubble fondant, which I learned in Bubble Bootcamp. I'm gonna share a link below to a blog that talks about bubble fondant and gives information including the recipe. And I'm also gonna share a link below to Bubble Bootcamp, which is where I learned how to do this. I am not including the recipe down below because it is not my recipe to share, but you can see the recipe in that blog post about bubble fondant. And if you take Bubble Bootcamp, you will get the recipe as well. There was a bit of a different challenge with this, and if you stick around for after the video, I will share with you something that I learned while testing out this product. I apologize, it is a long video, but I hope that what you see is what you want to see. But please share any feedback below, any questions that you have below, and I will do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. So why don't we go on in and I'll show you how I made this bubble bar. Okay, I am going to be making my unicorn bubble bar. First thing I do is add some SLSA, and that's going to give us those bubbles. Now for this, you do need to wear a mask. It's very light. I think it's lighter than air technically. And then for all the other products, all the other dry ingredients, I'm going to run through the sifter because you don't want clumps in there. I still have my mask on because this could make the SLSA kind of become airborne a bit. Now, some people will shake this in, but I feel like that makes it become more airborne. So I like to kind of stir it in. Now, if I were going to have this all one color, I can add my color now, and it is recommended that you put your color through the sifter as well to just make sure there's no clumps. I am keeping this white, so I'm not adding color. And if you wanted to use multiple colors, obviously you cannot add it now. So what I've done is I've gotten a towel because I am going to mix this, and that SLSA can become airborne. So I'm just gonna kind of put this down, cover it up, and run it for a bit. Okay, so I think that's mixed up in general, the dry ingredients enough. So I'm just gonna leave this towel on, put it aside, let everything settle in there while I prepare my wet ingredients. Okay, mask is off, so maybe you can hear me better now. So I have no clue how to say this, but this is what I'm putting in first. I just call it cocoa betaine. And this is a surfactant that also helps to create bubbles. Next, I will add avocado oil. Next is my polysorbate 80. So what happens is that oil will just sit on the top of your tub. And by using polysorbate 80, this will help the oils to mix in with the water in your tub so that your skin is actually like sitting, the oils are actually sitting on your skin that's in the water as opposed to sitting on the top of the water. And then we will add our fragrance. And this is Creamy Candy from fizzfairy.ca. And I love the scent of this. Okay. And I love the way that they have their spouts, like so easy to add without drippage. Isn't that awesome? Love it. So I will a little bit later add some cocoa butter, but right now what I'm going to do is add these wet ingredients to these dry ingredients. And the challenge is that SLSA comes in fine powder or coarse. If it is fine, it needs a little more liquid. If it is coarse, if you add too much liquid, like the same amount of liquid, fine versus coarse, it could activate the bubbles if you're using coarse. So you need less liquid when you're using SLSA coarse. Now the challenge is you need to figure out what you've got. So the last time I made this, I was using SLSA fine, and then I ordered from my other supplier, so Candora soap. And when I looked into the details of it, because they don't tell it on the main page, when you look at the details, it does say that it's coarse. So I'm not going to add all of this right away. I am going to add probably like half of it and just see how it's looking. And I may not add it all. And then I will cover again. I should put my mask on and run it for a bit. And it's still pretty powdery in there. So I will add the rest of my wet ingredients here. Most of them. I'll add the rest in a bit. Let's cover this up again. Okay. Looks like I'm okay to add the rest. Next up, I'm going to add the cocoa butter. What I'm going to do with the cocoa butter is add till I get the consistency that I need. What I'm trying to do is get to like a fondant texture. The challenge with this is that cocoa butter, when you're in a cool environment, will start to kind of not be as wet. So what I found the first time that I did this was I added way too much cocoa butter because my mixture was kind of like cooling down. So what I did was I put the bowl over a double boiler to just kind of heat the mixture up. And once I heated it up, the mixture, once I got the mixture warmer, it was the right consistency. So just be aware of that if you're in a cooler climate. Guys, I have to tell you, this cocoa butter, it smells amazing. I got it when I was in Costa Rica. I went to like a tree chocolate farm. And it was really cool. We walked around, we were trying all these different things. I had like cocoa bean, like they opened it up and we ate the stuff from inside. It was delicious. And I was able to get this fresh cocoa butter that they had made, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now it is quite cold. So what I'm going to do is I need to actually melt some more cocoa butter down. And I don't have a microwave, so that's gonna take me a bit. So I am also gonna put this bowl over the pot of boiling water while I prep my cocoa butter to just make sure that this kind of warms up a bit. This is the place where I got the cocoa butter, and they don't normally sell it in the amounts that I wanted. So it was so nice. There's a family there that, it's their farm. And I think she just pulled this out of her kitchen and filled it with cocoa butter for me. And like they are just, it smells like chocolate, like majorly smells like chocolate. And I'll be so sad when it's gone. Now the one challenge is that means when I use this in a product that I don't, when I use this outside of soap, there is a little bit of a chocolate kind of hint of a chocolate smell to it, I have found. And if you don't like that, then that's a challenge. So it is certainly not a deodorized cocoa butter, but it's heavenly. I've got enough cocoa butter melted down, and I'm gonna start actually mixing by hand, just so I can really get a feel for this consistency. This looks much better. Might need a little bit more. I think that My issue now could be that it's too cool. So I am going to take this off. See how it's kind of building up on the side right there? I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit here, but not as much. I'm gonna mix it by hand for a little bit just to be sure. And if it's not sticking like I want it to, like able to be kind of rolled out, I will put it overheat. If you've got a microwave, you can throw it in the microwave for a bit. So it doesn't look like it'll stay together, but I mean, it's really not bad. Like, let's just kind of mix that in a little bit with my hands. That will also help get some warmth in there, almost like I'm kneading it. Now, I learned how to do this by attending from Love and Soap. They had a bubble boot camp, and I highly recommend if you're thinking about making bath bombs. They went over bath bombs a bit, but especially bubble bars or solid bubble bath. That I found such a great resource. There were even actually for bath bombs, tips about decorating bath bombs. That is where I learned how to do the Buzz Bee bath bomb that I have. All these recipes. But as part of that program, I got there's a great, I think it's called Fun in the Tub book, and that came with it, and I've gotten some really great recipes out of there and good tips. And this bubble fondant recipe, I don't think is in the book, but you do get it as part of the class. And the Bubble Boot Camp is several classes. I think it's 6. But you can purchase individual classes, and this one is the Bubble Fondant class. Okay. And no, I do not get any kickback or... Wow, my husband is out and he left his phone here, which is not an uncommon occurrence. So no, I have no financial benefit to you registering for that class. I just found it really helpful and a lot of fun, actually. Okay. So with that kind of kneading, it actually helped get the consistency to an even better place. It might need a little bit more wet, so we'll see as I roll it out. I don't want to go too thin. I want some good size, good thickness bubble bars. And then I have this cookie cutter that I got from Michael's. And I am just going to put it in here, push down. See, this seems a bit dry to me, but let's see. Can I pick it up? I like having kind of the lip on this because it makes it easier to pull out. What I am doing on these before they dry is I'm adding some eyes. And I will paint these a bit later after they're dry. But the last time when I added the eyes after things had dried, it didn't work as well. So I'm just kind of throwing in that. And there we go. So these are the finished unicorns. I wanted to bring your attention to the eyes. So this was one where I did the eyes after I waited for a bit, whereas these are the eyes that I did pretty soon after molding. So I have got black mica mixed with some isopropyl alcohol. I know that was a long one, but I hope that you really enjoyed watching how I made these bubble bars. The thing that is different about these is that you'll notice I talked about SLSA fine versus coarse in the video. What I did learn when I was testing out this product is that I did not get as many bubbles as I did the first time that I made these with SLSA fine. So what I've learned is when you use SLSA coarse, you are going to need more SLSA than you did when you're using SLSA fine. So I've got to reformulate these. These are going to be for my family and friends to just use. There's still some bubbles. It's just not the major bubble experience that I would like my customers to have. Now, just a quick note as well, the bubble frosting and the bubble fondant you can use to make many other products. So you probably noticed on the side, I had some kind of butterflies. And so I just used kind of clay cutters to make these butterflies. And then I had extra bubble frosting. And so I decorated those. And then the other thing with bubble frosting that you can do is make kind of like popsicle, like cake pops, but instead of cake, they're bubbles. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel to be informed when I upload new videos.